bringing the world to you now that you can no longer go and see the world, because that's right, we are in lockdown here in the UK. I expect many of you are too, because there's 1.4 billion people under lockdown now with coronavirus, and we're going to move on from talking about the medical side of things and think of things that we can do to take care of ourselves, take care of other people, and generally sort of be happier in this very odd situation. Now, you might notice the sound is a bit strange. That's because I'm not in my usual nice office. I am, in fact, in a bathroom, like many of you, discovering different ways to try and get work done. But I've got five great ways for you to get a taste of the world, even when you have to stay in your home. It's from my blog post that actually has 23 different ways to deal with this. So if you're still stuck of inspiration after the end of that, do check out the blog post. It's inside thetravellab.com, and you'll probably see the article there, the 23 ways to armchair travel, as well as other thoughts about coronavirus, and in fact whether or not it's right or wrong to be talking about travel at all at this time. But here are the 5 tips that I've got for you today. Tip number 1 has to be food. Now, for me, food is one of the best parts about travel because it links people's history, their culture, geography. It gives you an easy way to get to know people when you travel, because you can talk over a meal or learn how to cook or things like that. And it brings all your senses alive. And whilst we're all trying to take care of ourselves, the most that you can use other senses to stop yourself disappearing inside your head with worry, the better. And food obviously has a great part of that, because taste is a big one, but it's also sight, it's the smell when you're cooking, and it's the texture as you're cooking things too. So I've gathered together a lot of recipes over the years on my blog from food that from all the way around the world. I am a very normal person. I'm not an experienced chef, so please don't be daunted. Do check some of those out. And if you're thinking, well, that's all well and good, but if I want to try new recipes from different places, I need to get to the shops, or I can't find everything that I need here. I've highlighted as well some of the recipes where you don't need different food types. You can use what you've got. And the simplest, if you don't want to go to the blog, you just want a tip now, would be to get yourself some lovely Spanish toast. So that is sliced tomato, slice some garlic, rub them both across the bread, then drizzle some olive oil across the top. The better the quality of the olive oil, the better the taste, but we'll use whatever we can in this situation. And then a tiny bit of salt and pepper, and it's delicious. It's really different, no butter, but it's really different to how we have it in the UK. And it always reminds me of my happier times in Spain, traveling around there. So number 1 is food, world recipes, or the simple thing I've just talked about then. Number 2 is music. Again, this is something that you can just literally switch on. Take a deep breath and it can transport you to a different place in the world. Now, I know we're normally all a very similar group here, basically. We're all interested in different cultures, responsible tourism and travelling the world and having a great time. Once we're all grounded, the differences become more clear. So some of us are juggling young children and hiding in our bathrooms. Some of us are on our own and perhaps desperately lonely, and others are on the front line and don't have a moment to stop and think for themselves. But whichever group you're in now, you can put some music on. Okay, you can start by reviving your favourites, or another quick way is to Google world music. It's not a term I like, it's very, well, let's leave that for another day. But it will help you find different tunes and different artists from different countries around the world. If you've got Spotify already paid subscription, you can go with that. But if you're just stuck and again you don't want to get bogged down, then just head on to YouTube. There are lots of music playlists there for up to an hour and you can listen for free. So there we go, there's that. Number 3, and this is my bias thing, is read a lot of blogs. Now I know books are brilliant, they really, really are, and I've seen lots of lists of books that you should be reading during quarantine, but A, they sometimes take more time, and B, you've probably thought about it already. So these are a more surprising list. My disclosure here is obviously I run a travel blog. What you might not know is many of us really, really do need your traffic so that we don't go broke and have to stop. So the more pages you can visit and the more you can interact with us on social media, the better from that point of view. But also we kind of like to think, or perhaps more importantly, we are reaching out and we are telling stories that you won't find in mainstream media. So I know on my site I've got interviews with people and I've got little places, they can't afford the massive advertising budgets that the big chains can, and they're also in dire straits too. And if you read those stories on my blog, you will connect with other people, you will make them feel better as well. They'll feel connected, and then when this is all done, hopefully we can all go back to living and exploring our lives that way, and you would have helped. So that would be a big thank you there. Number 4 for your surprising way to be an armchair traveller is a bit of a cheat. It is sort out your travel kit so you're ready to go when you can. Okay, so it's the sort of thing that falls through the cracks, but if you've got some time now, or you've got some irritability and mental energy that you need to get rid of, now's the time to go through. Do you have a suitcase that's broken? Do you need to research one and perhaps buy another one of those? Do all your travel clothes fit? Do you have an international travel adapter, or are you always scrabbling around trying to find it? Do you have a list? Again, I've got loads of travel tips over on the blog to direct you to there, but if you've only got the one thing, just check that you've got a decent suitcase, okay, and maybe order one of those the next time. And then tip number 5 for you for armchair travel is to make the most of the virtual tours you can do. Now, I don't know if you've seen this already, but there are some museums like the Louvre in Paris that you can tour digitally. And I got an update yesterday about one of the tombs in ancient Egypt that has been opened up, and they've done this fantastic 3-dimensional view on it. The last time I saw anything like that was actually on an estate agent's website. Unsurprisingly, this is a lot better. So you can zoom in and see detail and move around these buildings. It's not the same as being there, of course not, but you can see the detail lots better than you ever will do when you are there with all the crowds and when it's 45 degrees heat and you're wondering if you can survive without being, I don't know, melting into nothing on the floor. So those are the 5 things for you today. I am emailing out more suggestions as I find them, as I think of them, as I collect particularly the digital virtual tours. Do you have any great ideas? Let me know how you're surviving this crazy period below, or in fact just say hi. It's a strange time. We all like to feel connected wherever we are in the world. So at the very least, let me know where you are when you're watching this, and that will help me feel loads better. Thank you for watching. My name is Abby King and I blog at Inside the Travel Lab. Cheers!